Welcome to Kenect The Dots, a podcast where we unlock the stories that connect each and every one of us. Hosted by me, Zach Day, in partnership with Kenect Nashville. How do you connect?
How do you connect? How do you connect? You connect. I don't know. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Welcome back to Kenect The Dots podcast, y'all. It's me, your host, Zach Day. As always, I'm bringing it to you live all the way from Kenect Phoenix in Phoenix, Arizona. Feels great to be here. You know, it's getting close to the holidays, and I'm ready to go eat good. You know, I'm talking about turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes. I crave that stuff. That's Southern cooking. You know what I'm talking about. Let me introduce my guest before I get really too deep into talking about food, because y'all know I could talk about food all day. My guest is my friend and neighbor, Perry Morrison. Perry, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much, Zach. How are you doing today?
I'm great, and I'm happy to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me.
Perry and I met at Kenect Phoenix one random summer day when I first moved in. I didn't know anybody in the building yet.
4th of July, to be exact.
No, that's
One
exactly
random
right.
day.
Yeah, one random day. Actually, 4th of July, celebrating, but I was going up to the pool and I was going to read my book alone. And Perry was doing the exact same thing. And we were both just kind of laying there reading, and I was like, hey, and he was like, hey, and then we've been inseparable ever since, let's be honest, you know?
Yeah, to a point.
Yeah, I mean, we see each other all the time in this building, I guess.
We do, yeah.
But it's funny because, yeah, Perry, we've become friends. I love Perry to death. He's a sweetheart. And yeah, it's he's got an interesting story as well. He's a young guy who has really made a great career for himself. He's been working super hard. Perry, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, where you come from, and what you're up to these days?
Yeah, so of course, my name's Perry. I come from Texas. I'm a professional wake surfer, so whenever you mention the Southern food, really hit the spot a little bit.
Yeah, you know what it's about.
But yeah, I'm a professional wake surfer. I'm also a real estate investor, so...
Can you explain what wake surfing is to those who may not know, including myself?
Yeah, so it's basically where the boat makes a wave, and then you throw the rope, and then you have a wave that's created.
So you're kind of surfing behind a moving boat.
Exactly.
That's cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Sounds kind of dangerous too, but exhilarating. Maybe I don't know.
No, honestly, it's really not that.
I guess
dangerous.
you wouldn't get like sucked up under it or anything, would you?
Yeah, no, that wouldn't happen. I would say wakeboarding is honestly more dangerous. I love wakeboarding, but
Now, what's,
yeah.
wait, wakeboarding is probably safer than surfing, you think?
Harder.
Oh, harder.
Harder and not as safe, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But I like wakeboarding more. It's a little bit more fun. Wish I did that more, in all honesty, too. But
Don't you teach lessons and everything?
yeah, so I do wake surfing lessons, and I travel all over the world doing like photo shoots, events for my sponsors, competitions, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like went to Russia a couple years ago, as well as Cyprus, which is like a little island just under Greece.
Oh, yeah.
Canada, California, back
Amazing.
and forth to Texas. So all over. I know you know how it is to travel, so fun for a minute and then gets a little bit tiring.
Yeah.
But yeah, ended up getting into real estate investing. So that's actually why I moved up here in February. And it was supposed to be 2 months, 2 turned to 4, 4 turned from February to now. So
Going on a year now almost.
yeah, so my lease actually ends coming up here pretty soon. But I am planning to come back after the holidays.
Nice.
And after seeing the family for a little bit. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That's cool. So you were doing wake. How did you learn how to surf and do the wake? It's called what is it called? Wake surfing.
Yeah,
right?
wake surfing.
How did you learn how to do that? Was that something that you did like growing up, or like just for fun, and then you were like, wait, I'm actually good at this, or what? How did that come about?
Yeah, so I've always liked board sports since I was like little. So
Okay.
when I was 3, I started skateboarding.
Okay.
And they used to have this one skate park. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it's called Woodward. They have
And that's
one
in Texas.
There was one in Texas in the mall next to my house, but there's like a huge one that people fly in from all over the world to like go and do skateboarding, just basically extreme sports, cheer to gymnastics.
Oh, nice.
Everything.
Woodward.
and- yeah, it's called Woodward.
Okay.
But there was one down in Texas, and I used to go to that all the time. got super into skateboarding, and then skateboarding turned to wakeboarding. And I really wanted to get into surfing, but Dallas is landlocked. So my parents ended up finding something behind like a boat. I tried it for the first time, loved it, and then just kept doing it. And then started competing when I was like 9. Got sponsored by a boat company when I was 11.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then it just kind of kept going from there. Fell in love with it, and yeah, just never ended up stopping. But got into real estate 3 years ago. We're going on 3 years.
So like fresh out of high school kind of vibe.
Yeah, so I graduated high school early and then got my real estate license in Texas. Was doing that. Looked at getting a rental, and then instead of doing that, learned more about like wholesaling and flips. So wholesaling is like selling a contract off to someone, doing the legwork, finding the property.
Okay.
And then finding someone that is wanting to invest their money to flip it and then sell that contract to them. So then they buy it and flip it, and then I just get out of it.
Right.
So basically flip the paper. Okay. And that's what I was doing.
So when you were growing up, like what was did you always kind of know that was sort of what you wanted to do, or, you know what I mean? Like what was your dreams and goals when you were like growing up, and do those dreams and goals align with what you're doing currently?
Yeah. So initially, whenever I was younger, I don't even remember this, but I used to be or want to be a professional football player and a lawyer from Harvard.
Hell yeah. I mean, that sounds pretty cool to be both.
Yeah. But
NFL and lawyer. Yeah. Exactly. No, I get it.
I wish. Yeah. But ended up going to like start learning more about wake surfing and stuff. Got my sponsors, and then I said like I want to be the best in the world. Started competing at like a professional level whenever I was 15.
Yeah.
And just kept doing that and loved it. Loved it. So
that was like the sports aspect of that kind of dream, right? It was like, okay, I want to do like something athletic, something in the sports industry. And then when it comes to the real estate thing, like was that something that crossed your mind ever, or was it just something that just kind of fell in your lap?
So I was going to go into college in Florida. And while I was in high school, this was the month before summer to senior year started, I decided that I wanted to actually graduate early and just get into sales instead of going to college. So I knew I would just party all the time at college, which honestly, not going did not stop me.
Right.
But ended up like learning more about real estate. My dad owned one of the number one dealerships in like the nation, like car dealerships. Okay. So sales has just kind of been in my family background a little bit.
Okay.
And didn't want to do that because wanted to kind of do my own thing. So got into real estate and loved it. But
nice.
I feel like pretty quick I knew that's something that I eventually wanted to do, or at least get into. And I've just been doing whatever I possibly can to like continue opening doors in that space, because that's like my new dream, just to be a top real estate investor.
That's amazing. I mean, so you went from Texas, and then did you go, how long were you in Texas before you like moved to Phoenix? Like, was it like, okay, I'm going to do the real estate thing, I need to get to Phoenix? Or was it like, oh, this opportunity showed up in Phoenix, I'm going to go there now? Like, how did that kind of come about? Yeah,
so I was a realtor down in Texas. I used to think like real estate investors were scum of scum. I'm not going to lie, because I didn't understand it. So as a realtor, you look at it and it's like, oh my gosh, these people are buying a house for $120,000 and they're going to sell it for $300,000. Like, what
doesn't add up here?
Yeah, what doesn't add up here? Like, these people seem like just like the scum, you know?
I hear you.
They're stealing homes.
Yeah, okay.
And finally kind of understood it. Like, people genuinely sometimes just need out of a situation, and you can't list it on the market. You don't have the time, and you don't want to put the energy forth on doing that, because you could have inherited one of your parents' properties or your parents' property, and both of them passed away. Yeah. You live across the country,
right,
and you don't know what to do because you don't know anybody down there anymore. Or you could be going into foreclosure, and now you have absolutely zero clue on what to do to get out of this besides sell your home. And you waited too long. So now if you list it up on the market, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Like the judge is still going to push forward with that foreclosure. And that'll stay on your record for 7 months. So it's
Oh my
or
God.
7 years. Sorry.
7 years?
Yeah, where you can't
You can't sell a house if you're in foreclosure.
right. So you can sell a house, but you have to be like in communication with the lender, who is typically either the bank or it's a private lender.
Oh my God.
And then you also have to go to court over it if it's something where you need to push that foreclosure date out. So it can really put people in binds. And honestly, I love being able to help people. Honestly, like this isn't my end goal, just being an investor. I have a different one that I don't really share. That is included in that and intertwined with kind of like my sister who passed away. So right now, I really do think it's just kind of the beginning and start. I'm still 20, so it makes it. I think I got a couple more years until until I hit that next part. But yeah.
But it's super interesting to hear your story, and you know you've already done so much just being so young and stuff. So like I was like I got to get you on here because I do genuinely want to find out more about it. So anyway, all of that being said, like when did that kind of translate to? I need to go to Phoenix.
Oh yeah, that's my bad. So
you're good. So I'm just curious, how did you get here?
Yeah, so I started learning more about like real estate investing, and I was going to buy my first rental, and I found two of my now mentors, Carlos Reyes and Sal Shakir, absolutely incredible people, but they have their office up here. So I decided, hey, look, I want to jump all like head in the game. I don't care about anything else. So ended up just leaving home, left my friends, left my girlfriend, who is now my ex-girlfriend. Yeah. And came out here just to do whatever I can to like succeed in this. And so far it's going pretty well. Definitely still a lot more to go. Yeah. But besides that, I have met people and learned so many different things that I can now add to my life story.
Yeah, for sure. And then you ended up being here at Kenect Phoenix of all places. And didn't you just like just pack up your truck and kind of come out here with like pretty much nothing at the time? I remember you saying you showed up and like you were like, I need a furnished apartment because I really don't have my bed or anything like that with me, right?
Oh yeah. So I came up here and the main reason was because it was fully furnished and I could do short term. So came up here, got here, had like a couple of my friends from my surf industry, but besides that, I mean, I love the apartment. Like the thing that is really holding me super close to it is the community surrounded in it. Yeah. I feel like everybody who I've met here has just been super positive, and always open to like meet new people and have those conversations. Of course, looking at the rooftop pool photos was another huge benefit. But yeah, I've came to love this place. I mean, it is incredible.
And what makes it really is the people here, I think. Like, I mean, it's a nice place, but like overall, it's like, yeah, we got the gym, we got the pool, all that stuff. But like, there's other places that have gyms and pools, but like the people that work here are super nice. The people that live here are really nice and fun to talk to and get to know. I mean, that's the whole point of this podcast is just there's so many interesting people that live here that I want to get to know more. So I'm really glad that we got to connect, if you will. So tell me a little bit more about like, do you have like a memorable experience in your career, whether that's your wake surfing or real estate, something that is a memorable experience or a story that kind of shaped the way that you approach your whatever you're doing now, or just something memorable, funny, whatever. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say like the first deal in wholesaling that I did. Initially, it was just kind of like I really want to get into this and learn, but I didn't really put my full foot forward. Once I came out here and did my first deal, it was actually this guy who lived up in Oklahoma. So he had bought this house 2 years ago, and he got in my system in December. I couldn't end up coming to an agreement with him, but I called him back March of this year. Called him, older gentleman, and he took his house off the market. It is up in Oklahoma, just in between Dallas and where is it? Oklahoma City. I'm trying to remember the city name, but tinier town on the outskirts, maybe an hour away from like downtown Oklahoma City. Okay. He actually took the home off of the market because he was done. He moved down to Texas because he was having health issues. His wife had just passed away. And now he lives with his daughter. He can't afford the payments on the home, and he was going to lose the house. Yeah. And he's at a point now where within the next year, he's most likely going to pass away. Yeah. So I end up talking with him, and there is a way we can purchase homes called subject to, which means we buy a home subject to the existing mortgage. So, so a lot of words.
No, it's okay.
But so essentially what happens on those is the home wouldn't sell on the market, and he did not have a lot of equity in it. So the house would sell on market for $175,000.
Okay.
He owed $145,000.
Oh, okay.
So he wouldn't be walking away with anything.
You're right.
So what I'll do is I'll say, hey, Zach, I'm going to give you $5,000 and I'm going to take over your payments. He was paying about $1,000 a month, and the home rented out for $1,600 a month.
Okay.
So I'm just going to give you $5,000 to walk away. I'm going to take over the payments, pay $1,000 a month for however long, 5 years in this case, and I'm going to rent it out for $1,600 a month.
Okay.
Once that time ends, I'm going to sell the home.
Okay. So you got to pay it off first.
Yeah, so it's a balloon payment. So it's over time. So I'm not paying it off. I just have to pay it down to a certain point.
Gotcha.
Before I have to refinance or sell, because that's a good rate. Like he had like a 4.2% interest rate. So it was awesome. But besides the point,
me with numbers, I'm like, duh, but it's okay. Maybe other people are better with that than me, but I hear you. I get the basic concept of what you're talking about.
Sorry about that, but yeah, so that's kind of besides the point. But just being able to watch him, as well as my next client over in Vegas, who was old and moving in with her son, smile. The second one, after him, I actually had the lady cry in tears because of how easy that process was, and because I even paid 2 months of her rent to stay in the house 2 months after we closed.
Oh, nice.
So that was about $6,000 to cover it.
Wow.
And I covered that for the next 2 months, so she wouldn't have to pay anything out of pocket. Helped her with the move, and just it is so much more emotional, and there's so much more gratitude from these people because they're in a situation that they don't know what to do. Yeah. Compared to being a realtor, I feel like it's more or less, hey, I don't like the color of the paint, or I don't like this on the home. I'm a numbers person, so if the numbers make sense, I can make somebody smile. Yeah, and that's what I like.
I love that. That's cool. Okay, here are a couple questions for you that are kind of interesting. How do you think the shift towards remote work is impacting the real estate industry?
I work fully remote. So I
Interesting.
never,
okay, cool.
So I never meet these people in person. I was actually on a call just before. And that's like the really cool part. I can do this from anywhere in the world. Right. So I think, I've closed a deal. First deal I closed was actually out on the lake. And then
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then
celebration.
It was pretty fun. Yeah. And then I just assigned another one actually, on Monday. That one's over in Georgia. Older gentleman, bought the house for his daughter. His daughter passed away. His ex-son-in-law wanted the house for free, and he said no. Yeah. I helped him evict the ex-son-in-law who wanted the house, as well as sold it for his full asking price, which was $90,000. So I got him that $90,000. He should have it before the end of this year, and he doesn't have a property to worry about anymore.
Amazing. That's cool. So it's crazy that you can do all of that just from your phone, and that make your entire career is just remote. I do a lot of remote work too, and it's definitely a blessing to me, but it is interesting that you don't have to go to an office every day, or you do go to an office sometimes, don't you? And
I actually go to an office every day. I hate working at home. I can't do it. Okay, I can't do it.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I got to be somewhere, whether it's a coffee shop, whether it's an office. But if it is somewhere where there is a bed and a fridge and a microwave,
You're just laying.
I'm done.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. I have to like force myself because I do a lot of remote work too, and I'm like in my bed on the on the laptop, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to go run 5 miles now, or I feel lazy and gross, and that's just something I'm working on. But I feel you on that for sure. It's way too easy to just stay in bed. Okay, here's another one. Are there any upcoming neighborhood hotspots you think are underrated but have great potential?
Neighborhood hotspots?
Yeah, or
where
just,
at? Like in the Phoenix area?
Could be in the Phoenix area, or maybe some other place that you're like, oh, because like for me, it's like there are some places in Kentucky, because I'm from Kentucky, that are like getting ready. I just have this feeling that they're getting ready to pop off, and people are getting ready to just like move in there, and because it's so beautiful, you know what I mean? And right now it's cheap. But it won't be for long. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. So
yeah. So actually in Dallas, I would say Pilot Point. Pilot Point is really, really doing good. Man.
I mean, that's interesting. Pilot Point.
Yeah.
Y'all go snag you a house real quick.
Yeah, Pilot Point in Texas, North Texas. That place is popping off. Same with Paris in Texas. Gainesville is doing pretty good now. Man, Katy, Texas is...
I've heard of Katy, Texas.
Yeah, Katy is beautiful, beautiful. Let's think, where else?
There's some cool spots near Nashville too that are like not Nashville proper, but like on the outskirts that are getting ready to pop off too. And I'm always like, dang, like it's just crazy. I just feel like these places are quickly becoming like more and more, I don't know what the word is, but just like quickly just popping off. And
yeah, North Carolina has been just going absolutely insane this past year. Oh, and then there's actually a place over in, where is it? Oh my gosh. I think it's Illinois.
Okay.
Illinois has some places that are just crazy. Like I'm seeing them and like looking at what the properties are selling for, and it's like 15,000 over asking price.
wow,
Like
I don't know what that means. I'm like, I need a house.
If it's 300,000 that they have it listed for, people are paying 315.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay.
yeah. So it's starting to go back to that.
Wow, that's
But-
crazy. Here's a quick question. What are some negotiation tips for buyers and sellers? Do you have any?
Yeah. So negotiation tips are, in all honesty, it's never really about the price. It never is. It's always about the motivation behind it. So if you can really focus in on what we call pain points, that's wherever you're going to get the deepest discounts. Pain points.
Okay, like what's an example of that?
So for an example, a pain point would be somebody going into foreclosure.
Okay.
So that's a pain point.
You're like an ouch moment.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So you're going into foreclosure. That's your reason that you may want to sell. But what is your reason behind that? But like, what are you so afraid of? Oh, I'm afraid because I'm going to lose my home. I already lost my job.
My credit's going to plummet. I'm going to have to file bankruptcy or something like that. Yeah.
So how does that make you feel? Oh, this makes me feel worried. It makes me feel scared. I'm not sure what the next steps are. Okay, what can I do? Or what if I could tell you, we can get you to that next chapter in your life in 30 days.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a pain point. You're a problem solver first. If you're looking at a buyer or seller standpoint and you're trying to negotiate. If you can't figure out the pain, then there's not going to be a gain.
I like that. So you did mention a couple names at the beginning of your story that are these mentors. Yeah, how was it like working with these guys, and what are some things that you have learned from them, or do you have any other kind of shout outs? Maybe I know you like to read a lot of books too and stuff like that about like, you know, how to better yourself and how to be business minded. I don't know. I'm just curious about other inspirations, people, places, and things.
Yeah, of course. So I would say probably some of my biggest inspirations. It's been incredible learning from them, as well as their team. They actually were some of the original, like what you would call gurus.
Oh, okay.
Who taught like the wholesale industry. But from them to Brandon Simmons, Max Jimenez, I love him. I was actually just on the phone with him earlier today. Of course, my dad, he's absolutely my biggest mentor whatsoever. I'll go to him for everything.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to have.
But yeah, I would say it's just been an incredible experience, like learning from all of them. They all have their different kind of tactics and different ideals on how to approach a situation, from a analytic standpoint to a emotional standpoint to a high energy, hey, let's get you excited about this, anything and everything one of my mentors has.
Yeah.
And I absolutely just love being able to utilize those and them as a resource.
Yeah.
Because, I feel like I would not know, I wouldn't even know half of the stuff I knew now.
Yeah.
If I never came out here.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So I guess coming out here and being able to work with these guys like individually, one-on-one, or like in person, and really grow from learning from them has benefited you for sure, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that has been probably the biggest push whenever it came to my career.
What do you think that the real estate landscape will look like in the next 5 to 10 years, or the future of real estate?
Well, hopefully, all right. So, pretty recently with the whole election that went on, a lot of fluff right now and a lot of excitement of rates getting lowered. Whenever it comes down to the finance and economical standpoint, real estate has been pushing that just because of the way he talks about certain aspects on that.
Yeah.
I would say we're probably not going to look. This is going to be recent, and then going forward.
Okay.
We're probably not looking at any big rate drops right now for the next until first quarter next year. Maybe even closer to end of first quarter. I actually just talked to one of the lenders about that. But I would say going into about 10 years, real estate's always going to go up. That's the one thing that I feel
dang.
that's where generational wealth comes from. And the reason why is because it's not something that you can just create.
Yeah.
Land is there, but we're losing it every single day. Every day land is going under and under. So the more land you can buy now, the more valuable it's going to be within the next 5 years, 10 years, 100 years. But one saying that everybody says in the real estate industry is the best time to buy was yesterday.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I know everybody's wanting to hold off until rates get better. But, man, if you think about it, back in 2020, whenever the real estate market was booming and people were all paying way over what the home value was just to get into a house because of the rates, you're spending $40,000 just to get into a house that you could have spent that money on if the rates were higher. Mm-hmm. The only difference is now if you go and you find a house that's worth $200,000, you're only paying $200,000, and you can always refinance to change that rate and get a lower rate. Yeah. Compared to if you wait for them to go low, everybody's going to be trying to buy again. So that's going to turn that $200,000 home to a $250,000 home, and so forth. And that's what's going to keep happening. It doesn't matter how far it crashes down; it will always be up every single time. Wow. That's the one thing you can trust yourself in.
Interesting. Man, yeah, I would love to. I have this goal of maybe having a house someday, and it's just like, it's definitely just a goal and a dream right now. But, maybe someday. I just feel like I have a lot to learn about that. That's why I'll call you.
Well, if you want to buy a house in Phoenix, I have one for you.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay. We'll talk after the podcast. No,
yes.
I don't know.
Or anybody else, hit me up.
There you
if
go.
You want to buy a house.
Hey, well, go ahead. I was going to actually go ahead and give you the opportunity to, if you have like a website or a way that these people can contact you, feel free to give us all that information.
Yeah, of course. You can go fill out a form if you want to sell a house on my website, PD Cash Buyers.
PD?
P-Dog.
P-Dog.
PD Cash Buyers. You can go on my website and fill that out. Or you can just reach out to me on Instagram. I guess you can just put it there.
Yeah,
I think.
Sure. Yeah, I'll put it in here.
Or somewhere.
Perfect. And I just have a couple more questions for you before we wrap up here. Number one, what do you think the future of you looks like? Like what do you have in mind for the next, 5, 10, 15, 20 years? What's the future of Perry?
I have ideas, but those aren't things that I really share. I would just say a lot of real estate, but there is something outside of real estate investing that I want to do for almost a memorial for my sister that passed. Yeah. But we'll leave it there. Okay. But besides that, just buying a bunch of real estate and selling it. I just want to be able to help people out and figure out different ways I can make housing affordable for those people.
Yeah.
So
Do you like Phoenix? Do you plan on staying here for a while, or are you going to kind of just bounce around? Like, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I love it here, if I'm going to be honest.
I do too.
I
It's
love
nice.
it. It's so nice.
Yeah,
Except
it's
the
cool.
summers. The summers aren't that fun.
No.
But
So hot.
I know. But yeah, I want to go up to Flagstaff maybe too.
Ooh, yeah.
And I want to go check that out. I haven't been yet.
Oh,
So
you got to go up there.
let's
I'll
make
go.
a trip.
Yeah, I'll go with you for sure. It's so nice. I mean, I bet it's snowing there right now, literally.
Oh, it is.
Is it? My last question, and I always ask all my guests that come on the podcast this, is like, for me, you know, like we were talking about earlier, traveling and all this other stuff, it's like, it can be super exhausting and burning out and all this other stuff. So I have to balance that with like alone time, reading a book, like whatever I need to do. How do you balance your work and life? And how do you find that peace? What does that look like for you?
Man, in all honesty, I don't really have a balance anymore. I mean,
All work and that's it?
yeah. I started getting burnt out a little bit, and the only real balance that I had was really just like going up into the mountains, going on a hike, and doing that by myself. But yeah, I mean, I've had some moments where like it's just been a full burnout for like a week, and like my brain just is not on.
Yeah.
And like the last thing I want to do is be around anybody. So if that's the case, then it's just either A, go on a hike, or B, go sit by the pool and read a book.
Yeah.
I think we've had our moments too, wherever we just go up and we'll go cook steaks and
Right. Exactly.
have a good night. So.
No, I love whenever me and Perry, he'll be like, hey, I'm going to go pick up some steaks. You want one? I'm like, yeah, definitely. Because man knows how to cook a steak. Let me tell y'all right now. So that's one plus for you too.
Yeah.
All right. So we already got your Instagram, your website, and all that good stuff. Is there anything else you want to say before we log off here?
Man, I think that should be it. But
Cool.
yeah, I mean, if you or anybody you know is looking to sell a house, or if you want to go out on the lake, let me know.
Perfect.
Let me know.
All right, cool. Well, Perry, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Oh, little handshake action. From all of us here at Kenect Phoenix, be sure to check us out at Kenect Phoenix or at Kenect Nashville. You can always follow me at Zach or Zach.com. And I think that's going to do it. Until next time, see you later.